What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Lambo Place podcast. This is episode 39, UFC Orlando, and I'm joined by my usual co-host. It is Timothy Troiano. What is up, Tim? Are you ready for UFC Orlando?
What's going on, Narco? Yeah, I'm excited. This is actually a very, very good fight night card.
Yeah, unbelievable fight night card. 14 fights now as one fell off because girl had trouble, I guess. I don't know. Do you know what happened? Why it fell off?
Nope.
Yeah, I have no idea, but I think it had something to do with after
Cortez medical something.
Yeah, it was some kind of medical thing. But yeah, that fight is off. I didn't have anything on that fight, so to me, doesn't really matter. But I know some people were leaning one side or the other. But without further ado, let me go over to chat and shout out my chat. Per usual, it is Daz in the house, Mike Z, Mushroom is here. Let's see. Who else is in here? Luke Golding. I haven't seen Luke Golding for a while, but he's back. Headley one is in here. Dumpy is in here. MMA Propaholic in here. And Nick Peepard is in here. What is up? I hope I didn't butcher that name. Peppered? Nick Peppered. All right. We'll go with Peppered. Early stream, is it really? Maybe an hour earlier. I don't know. But yeah, let's cut to it, man. 14 damn fights. We have to go through this as quick as we can and as valuable as we can, I guess. Fight number 1, 115-pound division. It is the 9-0 Yasmin Harigue versus the 6-3 Estela Nunez. Timothy, talk to me.
Well, I think there's only like two ways to go in this fight. I mean, first of all, I think that Yasmin doesn't really grapple a ton in a lot of the fights that you watch her. She's 95% striking and has good hands and good combinations, things of that nature. So I just kind of like the money line and shit. Like, I just don't understand. Like, this is a kind of a wide line. I'm not saying that she shouldn't be like, that wouldn't be my pick, but I think the line is kind of wide. And I think that Yasmin is going to get kind of like one of the fights that she's wanted over the last couple fights that she's lost is getting these guys that are just grapple fucking her. So I think that Yasmin by points would be one way to go, or split. Or sorry, not Yasmin. Nunez by points or split is not a bad look. And then the round 3 prop for Yasmin, because pretty much Nunez is gassing at the end of round 2, just striking, and she doesn't know how to really manage her gas tank very well. So, if you're on a round 3 prop for Yasmin, I totally get that. But I also think it's possible that it could be really closer on the feet and that Nunez might be able to win the first 2 rounds and keep it close. So, it's not high enough for Yasmin. That would be my pick, like I said. But I like as a Lambo play, I like Nunez points, Nunez split, and then possibly the round 3. But those are obviously all good plays to me.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with a lot of what you said. Yasmin is basically a striker. She likes to box. She doesn't really implement much grappling. From the tape that I saw, it's usually when girls initiate the grappling with hers where she has success by either out strengthening them or out techniquing them and getting them to the ground. But outside of that, you don't see this girl shooting like a single leg, a double leg, or any type of trips. She really doesn't. I mean, if she's going to catch a kick and take you down, she will. But many times I saw her on tape actually get girls down and like come off of them and ask them, basically telling them to stand up. Not that she's not comfortable, because I think she's definitely the better grappler here. I just feel like she's so comfortable on the feet. So when you're telling me that, and you're telling me Estela Nunez is the type of girl that wants to stay on the feet, and you could see it from her fights, like every one of her losses is because she got grappled. I mean, she got taken down. And when she wasn't getting taken down in all those 3 losses, she had success on the feet, right? She was landing. She's a good kickboxer. She's at ATT now. Like, she's at a good camp. She's got good sparring partners, I'm sure. The girl's talented on the feet. And if you're telling me this fight is 15 minutes on the feet, this line is completely off. Like, it makes no sense to me that this girl Yasmin is minus 340 in some spots, yet She went life and death with Lucindo, who's literally a grappler. That's all Lucindo was known for. And she went life and death with her on the feet for 15 minutes, back and forth, which is a big red flag for me. Now, I do like her pace. I like the cardio. I like the pressure. All that is very good in this fight for her against Estela Nunez, because Estela Nunez slows down. And it just is what it is. Come third round, this girl's going to be tired. And Harigue just doesn't get tired, it seems. She has a very, very good gas tank, keeps coming, throws pretty good shots, hard shots. Round 3, I think, is pretty live for her here. It's plus 1,200. I took a stab at that. I think that's a really live line. But honestly, like, if you're taking a stab on Nunez at this price, like 277 right now or 280, I'm sorry, on Bet Online, like it's not bad at all, man. Like, I think you can honestly play her and then hedge live on Harigue, because I think round 1, Nunez, when she's fresh, like, she's a good striker, man. And I think round 1, she could probably win that round, and then this line comes down a bit. So whatever it may be, I do like Harigue to win here, but Harigue round 3 plus 1,200, maybe sprinkle Harigue round 3 submission. That's like an astronomical
50 to 1.
50
yeah,
to 1.
I looked at it too. Yeah,
I don't think that's bad. Like, just in case, like, this girl Nunez is gas, she gets her down and she can do whatever she wants with her, right? So I would take a shot with that round 3 sub prop as well. Brady's in the house. What's up, my man, Brady? Antonio says, "Yo, bro, what's up? Thoughts on Kraus?" We could talk about that at the end. I don't want to kill this whole thing with Kraus right now, but we will talk about Kraus for sure at the end of the show. What is up, George? How you doing? Estela in last 2 fights, 5K, bro. Oh, point deduction. I knew he was going somewhere with all that. It's possible.
It's 20 to 1, actually. If you go on DK, point deduction is 20 to 1.
There you go. All right. Moving on, fight number 2 in the 145-pound division. It is the 6-0 Francis Marshall versus the 16-8 Marcelo Rojo, and I will kick this one off. So for me here, I like the overs in this fight. I think this fight goes to decision. I think people are underestimating Marcelo Rojo a bit based on his last 2 fights against very high-level fighters compared to what Marshall is at this point. You're talking about Kyler Phillips, Charles Jourdain, really, really good fighters. He was 1-1 going into the 3rd round against Charles Jourdain. Looked really good in that fight, to be honest. And, against Kyler Phillips, he just couldn't match the speed, the athleticism, the all overall game of Kyler Phillips was just a very, very bad matchup for Marcelo Rojo. But here against Francis Marshall, man, like, I get that this guy could be a favorite in his fight because he has the grappling upside. This guy hasn't beat anybody. He went, Connor Matthews, the guy that's never been past the 1st round, very competitive 1st round in the Dana White's Contender Series fight, correct? He won because this guy was completely gassed, could not do absolutely nothing after the 1st round, could not defend the takedown. He was just gassed, right? And that's how Marshall won that fight. I don't think Rojo is gassing at 45. Rojo is much better, I think, at 45. His gas tank is much better. He doesn't have to cut to 35. This is a fight at 45. Like I mentioned earlier, he looked very good against a guy like Charles Jourdain. Yeah, it's a different matchup because this guy's primarily a wrestler, but I don't think Rojo is as bad as people think he is. I think this is a big step down for him. I think he's a lot more dangerous on the feet than Francis Marshall is. And I think Francis Marshall, to be honest, gets hit a lot on the feet based on what I saw in the Dana White's Contender Series fight. So with that being said, I think both guys are very durable and tough, in my opinion. I think this fight goes to decision. I'm going to take a shot on Marcelo Rojo by decision, plus 550. And if you want to get cute, you can go split decision here and go plus 800 for both guys. Tim, what do you got?
Yeah, he's 18 to 1 by split too, if you wanted to really get greasy too. So yeah, I don't hate any of that at all. It's kind of weird. Like this fight, I see every point that I agree with, like every point that you made. So I'm not going to reiterate it, but like from a betting perspective, it's kind of weird. Like I feel like Rojo's the side, but I haven't bet him. And I'm like, I feel like it's been the whole way, like all week long, I've been like, he has to be the betting side, but I still haven't come close to betting him. And I think that there's been a few reasons why. He can be grappled, like he can be taken down especially if you have some like process to your takedowns and you can chain things together and you have some good cardio. It basically that's been his nemesis over his career. So, that's pretty much what you're getting. I'm not saying it's great, and I don't think it's like I'm not really highly impressed with Marshall really with anything. So I can't get to the window on him either. And I don't think it's like a round 3 situation as much. I don't know if he's going to have as much success as like the Kyler Phillips, and Kyler Phillips is just way better wrestler and way better jiu-jitsu than him. So I agree that it's very likely that this fight goes. I do lean on the Marshall side. I do think that he'll get takedowns, and I think he'll be able to control him. Perhaps he gets a sub, but I kind of lean the points at plus 300 for Marshall, and split for him is 10-1. I don't hate your split call at all. I think that this could be very grappler that doesn't do very much damage versus a guy that does a little bit of damage, 25 to 30% versus 70 to 80%. And I think, Marshall's going to probably edge out a close decision. The size difference of these guys, I think, obviously I'm not talking like height and length reach. I'm more talking just what weight class they can fight in. Rojo can fight a weight class down, and Marshall can fight a weight class up. So, typically I think his body's going to be a little bit bigger. So I think he's going to probably edge out a decision, would be my guess.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible he can get a decision. I just like this fight to go to decision in general. And if you're telling me it's going to the decision, like, I don't mind playing Rojo because I think it's going to be close. A lot of people are playing like Marshall sub, and I guess I get it in a sense. But when you look at his career, he's subbing absolute bums, man. Like those guys that he's subbing are complete bums. And he fought that guy, Connor Matthews. Like I said, he hasn't been past the first round. He couldn't sub him when the guy was dead. So I don't see a sub here, but maybe it happens because Rowe is not the best on the ground. But I think he's competent. It's not like he doesn't know what he's doing on there. A lot of the times he's just facing grapplers that are pretty good, man. Like those guys that he's fighting are good grapplers. Moving on, fight number 3. It is the 7-1 Natan Levy versus the 10-1 Gennaro Valdez, and this is in the lightweight division. Tim, what do you got?
Okay, yeah. First of all, I mean, I hate that I'm going to have to say that I think Natan Levy is going to win a fight here. I do think that he's going to get Valdez out of there eventually in the fight and last through the first round. And I like the late round props for Levy. I think round 2, round 3, plus 500, plus 1,000 are pretty good. I do think he's live to still even get a KO too. I know that he doesn't do that, but often he's even doesn't really throw hands very much, but the kicks will be there, and he usually does that. He usually stays at distance. So I just think that Gennaro is going to throw everything that he has at him pretty early and go full rabies mode. And if he doesn't get it, I think Levy will have opportunities to get submissions or get him out of there later in the fight as it goes and he starts to gas. I think Levy also gasses himself, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not really confident with Levy. He's been rocked multiple times in fights that he's survived and then come back and won. He's shown to get tired every single round 3. There's lots that I don't like about him, so I'm not going to say that. But I just this is one of those fights where I don't want to bet it because I don't want to fade shit with other shit. And I think that Levy's on my fade list coming, moving forward, and he's been on it. And I think that he's just Gennaro's not the guy to bet at dog odds against him. So, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I got a different opinion on Levy. I think he's not as bad as you're making him out to be.
I'm sorry. I don't think he's bad. I think he's actually good. I think he's I think John Stargarian said it in a Discord. He's like he's really good and he's also just really bad. Like he's just really good at things and you expect more, and then he just does fuck all. He does nothing, and you just you watch him and you're just totally. This is meh, and I do think he's got talent. I do think that he's got, good jiu-jitsu, and I think he's a strong dude, but I just think every time I watch him, I'm just unimpressed.
Yeah. I kind of feel like this matchup it's going to make him look good. Because like I don't even know what Gennaro Valdez does well. Like, what does he do well? His striking is sloppy as shit. His grappling is sloppy as shit. He doesn't have any defense at all. What he does well is make chaos. That's the only thing I could say that this guy does well is he makes every fight chaotic, right? And if you don't know how to handle chaos, you might just break, right? And he might just win. But I mean, man, watching this dude and even his regional scene, he fought in the Lux Fight League, which to me is one of the lowest leagues out there. When I see these guys from Lux Fight League, and pay attention to this, Tim. When you see guys from Lux Fight League come into the UFC, they've absolutely shit the bed. I don't know what it is, but they've absolutely shit the bed. So, Gennaro Valdez went into Dana White's contender series against Alaska FC superstar Patrick White, and it was Rock'em Sock'em Robots, dude. Like, this guy got hurt very bad, was bleeding all over the place, but then came back and knocked out Patrick White after Patrick White was basically dead tired. I mean, both guys were dead tired. That win is not impressive. He goes into his first UFC fight and impresses me some more because I've never seen a guy get knocked down 5 times in one round. So that was impressive. But, like, nothing positive to see here, man. Like, was he tough? Yeah. He got 5 knockdowns, and the fight could have probably been stopped 5 different times. But, like, there's nothing I like about this guy, to be honest, outside of the chaos, the toughness. But I don't see this guy lasting in this fight. Like, if he's honestly KO 1 or bust, that's it for this guy. He's done after that against Levy. I think Levy has the better cardio. I think Levy's the much better ground game, grappler, wrestler, better striker technically. He's better everywhere, man. And honestly, when you look at this price tag, I haven't played it, but I think that's value. I think minus 194 right now is probably value because he's just better everywhere, man. And it's not even close. You mentioned something submission. I think he does sub Valdez. I saw Valdez give up his back many times on the regional scene. He's not a good grappler. And Levy hasn't shown his grappling in the UFC, but he's a very good grappler. So I'm going to go with Levy round 2 sub plus 800. Maybe not round 1 when this guy's a little fresh and he's throwing and making chaos, but round 2 as he slows down by a million miles, I think maybe Levy can get him out of there by taking him down or even a club and sub. Something like a club, and then this guy shoots and Levy subs him, because I do think he has a good sub game and he knows what he's doing down there. So yeah, I'm on the Levy side here and then violence side in general. Moving on, fight number 4. It is in the 145-pound division. It is the 27-10 Darren, the Damage Elkins versus the 13-4 Jonathan JSP Pierce. And I can kick this one off. I love Pierce in this spot in general, man. I know some people have been talking about how if Darren Elkins can weather the storm, but what's he going to do when he weathers a storm? Because the storm is going to keep coming. Jonathan Pierce doesn't really fade like some of these guys that fade against Darren Elkins. Jonathan Pierce, very big for the division. Good grappling. I think he can match Elkins everywhere. I think he's going to be the stronger guy. At this point in his career, I think he's the more durable guy. 30 years old compared to, Elkins, honestly, at 38, it's more like 48 in fight years. So with that being said, he's been getting hurt lately. He's got knocked out lately. I feel like this is going to be a smash spot for Jonathan Pierce. I'm going to go a little trickier and go Pierce KO 3 plus 1,600. But I think it could happen any round. I think the KO is going to be there for Pierce. I don't think it's going to be a submission just because Elkins just is very, very good with his defensive submission game. So he knows how to defend those subs. He's defending them almost against everybody. So give me Jonathan Pierce, KO 3 plus 1,600, even KO 2. I mean, if you want to get, I think it happens somewhere along those lines, 2-3, but it could happen in round 1, honestly. But I love Pierce in this spot in general. I think he's smashing Elkins. Tim?
Yeah, I have a big bet on him inside the distance for JSP here. I agree. I think it's early. I think it's like 1 or 2. I usually he's gonna keep just rinse and repeat, take you down, fuck you up, you get up, and he's just gonna keep doing the same thing. I think he could standing KO damage at this point. Do we add the D to the end of damage? Like, is he the damaged at this point, or is he just
damaged? It's damaged.
Like it's just doesn't. It's really sad. Like if you listen to him talk and stuff, is he's slow and he's like slurring his speech. So really a bad look for him at this point, and I think that JSP gets him out. Like I think round. I do actually. I kind of only place I disagree with you on this is I do think that the sub will be live just because of how he's so dangerous with ground and pound. Like I just think it'll. I do agree that the defense is there. That's why I would be like round different. Play round props as opposed to like guarantee KO. Just because. He does go for subs, clearly. I mean, he was going for them all day against Rodriguez, and I think the ground and pound is typically what will set that up a little bit more and get somebody to have to defend different things and then open things up. So I don't think that it's like the more likely outcome, but I think it's a little bit live. I don't think it's like a guarantee that he just KOs him.
What line did you get for inside the distance?
-115.
Okay. I played the reason I like that play. But I went with under 2.5, -130, because I get both sides, and it's 15 cents difference. I rather do that because you never know. It's an MMA fight at the end of the day. I don't want to just completely discount Darren Elkins. You never know. Maybe GSP gasses himself out trying to get this guy out of there, and then the tables turn, right? So that's the only reason I didn't play the -115 is because the under 2.5 was so close to that line. It was -130. So I'm like, I'd rather play the -130 here.
Yeah, it's round 1, round 2 for me. So +220 is a tricycle play, and then +430 on round 2. I do think he gets him out in the first 10 minutes of this. I think he could be round 1.
All right. Jason, still counting my sacks after PFL last week. Yeah, that was epic. 16 units. It was a crazy, crazy day. I have the fight to end by sub +275. Interesting take. Man, seeing some of those deep fucking guillotines that what's his name?
Christian Rodriguez.
That Jonathan Pierce was in? No, the guillotines that he was in.
From Christian Rodriguez.
I don't know if somebody can sub this guy, to be honest. Like, I don't know. Sub to me just feels kind of weird here. I don't think it's happening, but you never know. Moving on. Fight number 5. It is in the 155-pound division. It is the 20-18 Michael the Menace Johnson going up against the 16-5 Mark. I don't want to say Bone Crusher. Sorry, you're not Bone Crusher. The takedown, lay and pray, Gia Casey. What do you got here, Tim?
Okay, this is just a bet that is just a process bet, and it's you're gonna laugh because every single fucking time I get to Gia Casey, the last 2 fights, I've been going after this, and for fuck's sake, this fucking guy's gonna do it again. You know where I'm going. It's not gonna happen, and he's not even gonna attempt one submission. But I've got to take a shot at a guy that's going to be going for it against a guy that is horrible on the ground and gets submitted all the time. And this is just like one of those scenarios where, last time we went against 2 guys that we thought he'd be able to, to get it and have his opportunities. I have to take the same shot. It's just, you have the 16-1, 16-1, and this, today it's 11-1. So we need to just hit one of these in the next 8 tries, and we'll be justified. Submission. We can do this.
He's going back to the well, guys. Sorry. He's going to Casey's submission, even though Gia Casey's going to stay in half guard. I mean, inside control, and then work his way. Guys, are you ready? He's not going to work his way to full mount. He's going to work his way to full guard. That's where he's more comfortable. So, I guess I get it a little bit.
It's more Johnson than Gia Casey. This is what I got. It's definitely more Johnson than Gia Casey. And I will say that my final thing I'll say is that if you're on the Johnson side, I would be hammering the points and hammering the split decision. I think those are really.
Well, why more like Johnson? Like he's getting subbed by like good grapplers. Like I don't like.
But he gives up. I just think it's more. It's also good grapplers, but they're also like it's always attritional, and it's always him gassing, and it's also him just quitting in fights.
Sucks on the ground, man. He sucks.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. I think it's just more of a quitter mentality. I just don't know. You got a dono there.
Yeah, I see it. Shout out to Gia 772012. Thanks a lot, man. Really appreciate it. $10. Very, very appreciative of that. Thank you very much. Everything that's donated here goes right to the stream, like whatever I could do to stream. I just bought my green screen because this shit in the back is killing me. But yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And with that being said, I am on the opposite side. I'm on Michael Johnson here, specifically by KO, believe it or not, plus 950. Michael Johnson, looking over his record, right? You don't see too many knockouts. You see him here and there, right? You see him in between some fights, in between some losses, but he does have KOs in there. He has power in his hands, man. Like he's putting guys down. He put Dustin Poirier out. This guy has a lot of power in his hands. And the one thing that we talk about that doesn't go away with age is power. He still has it. Gia Casey, we've seen him get rocked. We've seen him, almost get put out by Alvarez before he shot that, takedown, eat a knee, and then got guillotined. I think KO's live for Michael Johnson, man. I think as long as this fight is up on the feet, he's the much faster guy. His hands are much faster. I think he's got more power in his hands. It's plus 950. That's the thing that it kind of like led me to the prop, because 950 is kind of big, man, for a guy that has power in his hands. This guy has power. Like, you've seen him hurt Malarkey pretty bad, and we know Malarkey's tough. We know he's durable. It's just one of the plays that, I think can happen, man. This guy has a lot of power. He hurts a lot of people in his fights. If he can keep it upright, I don't think it's out of the realm that he can knock out Mark Gia Casey. So give me Johnson by KO plus 950. I'm on the Johnson side in general. I just think the takedowns are not going to come as easy as people think they are against Michael Johnson. Like, this guy is a All-American JUCO wrestler in college. All-American. It's not like a fucking joke. It's not going to be like, oh, let me just, take this guy down like I took out Hadzovich, or like I took out, who's the other freaking guy, the kickboxer. I mean, those guys.
Borashev.
Yeah, they got no takedown defense. This guy has takedown defense. His problem is, once you get him on the ground, he's got trouble getting up. I don't know about Gia Casey, to be honest. Like, everybody's getting up against him, right? He needed 12 takedowns against Borashev. Why can't Johnson get up? It's not like Borashev's some special guy of his get-ups. Like, the thing with Michael Johnson is he's just faced way better wrestlers, right? Clay Guida's a way better wrestler, period. So I think it's a step down kind of in a way for Michael Johnson, not in the sense that it's a step down as far as like talent, but I think it's a step down like from Guida, for instance. Like, his wrestling is way better, and that's where I see it. But this line just feels like it's off in general, man. Why are you pricing 335 on Gia Casey? That's, gonna possibly, even if he gets takedowns, he's gonna lay and pray. And I don't think takedown's gonna come that easy. So that's the most important aspect of it. I don't think takedowns are coming easy here. So for me, it's Michael Johnson KO plus 950. And then we move on. Fight number 6, 155-pound division. It is Clay, the Carpenter Guida, at 37-22. Going up against Scott Hot Sauce Holtzman. And he's coming in at a 14-5 record. And he did say this is his final fight, Tim. Tim, what do you got here?
Oh, the final fight, man. The retirement fight is always a bad omen. But I just think he's a way better fighter than Clay Guida. Across the board. I just feel like he's the competition like that he's fought against, especially recently, just are other levels. And man, Clay Guida cashing that beautiful, glorious 50-1 knee bar ticket for us is like just shows basically the confidence that you and I had in not, like not Puelles, but more the lack of confidence that we had in Guida to defend submissions and just to fuck himself over, basically. I think that's totally possible here. I really honestly do. I think a club and sub is possible here. I think he could get rocked and then just run his neck into a guillotine. I think Holtzman inside the distance or Holtzman KO at plus 340 or Holtzman sub plus 1,000 is fine by me. I think eventually he gets Clay out of there, and I'll take a shot at the sub because typically anytime that Clay gets hurt, he just is concussed and then throws his neck right into somebody's hands. So,
all right, going with the submission on Holtzman. Before I give my play, Rob is asking best confident $50 single prop bet. Only about Rob, remind us at the end of the show. We'll get to that. We'll give you something that we think has maybe the biggest upside or whatever. Rob Lawrence, fucking shit, brother. I live in Ontario. I'm getting fucked over here. Only have Bet Online. Offshore bookie takes all my money. Yeah, I mean, Bet Online's a good, but it's good to have other books, and I think it might come back. Honestly, it's a temporary thing. UFC's taken the measures already by banning Krause and all this other stuff. I think it comes back probably within a month. I would say it will be back. For me here, I kind of agree with you in a lot of the sense. Like Holtzman's just like the better fighter here. Guida striking is absolutely atrocious at this point. All he does well is kind of wrestle. He has cardio for days. Yes, we know that. But like Holtzman on the feet, so much better, has so much more power. I think Guida's kind of, at 40 years old, man, durability's got to be a concern now. He got hurt very bad against Leonardo Santos. Like you said, he was probably concussed.
He was murdered in that fight. I don't know how they fucking kept that fight going. He was dead.
Who was it? Tell me. Don't tell me it was what's his name, please.
I can't remember. My guess is that it was Keith Peterson. If memory serves, but I don't think it's my nemesis, Mark Smith. But I think it was. I'll have to go back. I thought it was Peterson.
Maybe it was just a bad day for Peterson. He was already a bottle in or two, so I don't blame him for keeping the fight going. He probably was seeing two Guidas, not one. So the other one that he saw, he wasn't getting hit. So, but yeah, I mean, Scott Holtzman KO 340. I think that's very live here, man. Holtzman hits pretty hard. Guida, like I said, durability's kind of going away. The only thing I will say is a red flag is the Nick Lentz fight. Like Nick Lentz kind of similar to Clay Guida, and Clay Guida might be having success later on in this fight as Scott slows down a little bit to get takedowns, which is a concern. Now, if you like Clay Guida, I think you have to go with like decision on him. And his decision prop is plus 250 on DK. I think that's good. Like 100 points better than his line. Clay Guida can't bust a grape at this point in his career. To be honest, I mean, the only reason he stopped Leonardo Santos is because he was death gassed. He was done. But outside of that, I don't think he's going to death gas Holtzman. Holtzman has pretty good cardio, so he's always in shape, and I'm sure this is his last fight, so he's not messing around here. So, yeah, but I'm going with the Holtzman KO plus 340, and MJ going to jump Gilly and have, oh, boy, Mike Johnson going to jump Gilly? Oh, my goodness. That would be something.
Michael Johnson by sub is 28-1 if you want to take that.
On the under 2.5, says Antonio at plus 164. I would just go with what's inside the distance for Holtzman. I'd rather like go that or just
plus 225 or something like that.
Yeah, I'd rather do that because I don't know if Clay Guida can finish him. What up, Couch Warrior? Happy Friday, brother. Thank you for coming in here. Frank says, didn't realize you were a fellow Canadian. I'm not a Canadian, actually. I was just reading out the other guy. I'm not from Canada. No. I am in sunny Arizona right now, as they would say. So DXJC confirmed it was Keith Peterson. Can you confirm if he was in for 1 bottle or 2 bottles? That way we'll know if he saw 2 Clay Guidas as well. But moving on. Next fight of the night. It is fight number 7. Yes, fight number 7 in the 115-pound strawweight division. It is the 14-12 Angela Overkill Hill versus the 12-6 Emily Gordina Ducati. And is it your turn or mine? Oh, it's my turn. Yeah, so for me here, honestly, I like what I saw from Ducati striking. I think it looked really good. Her good calf kicks. She's improved. She's about 9 years younger here. I think she has the power advantage here. You know where I'm leaning here, Tim. Ducati KO plus 1,200 is where I'm going because Angela Hill seems to be getting hurt lately. Like she got hurt against Lemos, correct? She got rocked. She got rocked against Godinez last fight, correct?
Yep.
She's starting to get rocked, and I think Ducati hits hard, to be honest. Like, looking over her career, like, I don't know how many knockouts she has. Let me look right now. I think she has a good...
I think it's 3 or 4, I think.
1... No, she only has 1.
Does she?
Yeah, it's only 1 by ground and pound. But it just, to me, she just... Oh, I'm sorry, 3. You're right. I didn't go up.
Yeah, 3.
2 of the last 3 she's got inside the distance by KO. So basically what I'm saying is her striking has improved. She has power. Plus 1,200 against a girl that's 37 years old, has been getting hurt lately. Give me Ducati by KO. If not, I mean, this fight probably plays a little closer, but I have no bet on this fight. Just for, transparency. I have no bets, but plus 1,200 is not bad look for a KO.
Yeah, I like that. For the same reasons that you're saying. I think that's a great long shot Lambo play. I think my play is going to be obvious. I'm not overthinking anything on this one. Fight ends in split is Lambo level plus 350. Predominantly going to be standing unless Dakota's probably struggling on the feet, and then she goes for takedowns. But I think it's going to be predominantly standing. And if it gets in the clinch, I think Angie's got a good clinch game. And I think that she's going to move around a little bit better than some of the opponents that Dakota has faced recently and maybe make it a little bit closer. I don't hate, like you said, I think that she's been getting hit a lot more often and a lot reacting kind of more and more just poorly. And I don't, so I like the Ducati KO 12-1, but I'm going to take a shot at the basic, like women's MMA, probably striking for 15 minutes, split decision all over it, plus 350. Give me that all day. It's 7-1 if you want to take a shot on either one, but I just think split's good.
Yes, Tim came through, guys. He got his first split of the night. Here it is. Before moving on to the next one, I want to shout out 58 of you in here. Thank you very much. We have been absolutely murdering it in the chat, murdering it on the stream week after week. It's been a great year. Click my Bet MMA tips up over 108 units in 2022 for myself. So it's been great. Probably up a lot more when you count all the live betting and all that other great stuff that's been going on in spaces. So let's move on. It is fight number 8. It is in the 70-pound division. It is the 15-5 Nico, the hybrid Price, going up against the 9-3 Philip, the Fresh Prince Rowe. Tim, your turn. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to go with DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince on this one to win in rounds 2 or rounds 3. Plus 800, plus 1,200. He tends to slowly get into fights and get taken down, get hit, and then he realizes he's in a fight, and then he should actually fucking fuck the other guy up a little bit more than letting them do that to him. And then he gets pretty aggressive. He's hittable. He's just got a lot of the measurables that you want. He's bigger. He's younger. He's faster. The Nico Price coming off of total reconstructive surgery on his knee, like, is just a bad look. I know that he was doing. Everybody's talking about the tape that they saw him on, like, in IG, with, like, doing a kick in the bag. I think that the only thing I would say, it looked like utter trash, and he looked like he was fighting in quicksand. But this was like in July though, so it might have been way closer to his surgery recovery. So I don't want to take too much of that. But he just seems to be slowing down recently more and more. So yeah, give me Rowe round 2, Rowe round 3 at plus 800 and plus 1200.
Wow. I am directly opposite of that. I'm on Nico Price round 3 at plus 1200. I don't know, man. Like, watching Rowe, like, this guy gasses to me. I mean, he gasses pretty hard. When you look at his, his record, he's got a 3rd round win. He's got, some other 2nd round wins. But you can't tell me against Orion Koski, he didn't look really in that fight. Gabe Green fight, he looked very, very tired in the 3rd. It's just, to my eye, like, this guy seems to slow down a lot later in the fight. And when I watch Nico Price's tape, like, this guy's best rounds are some of the in the 3rd. Like, last fight against Alex Oliveira, his best round was probably in the 3rd. He looked good in that 3rd round. And he's got good cardio, man. This guy keeps coming, crazy pace. Don't get me wrong. Philip Rowe can absolutely starch this guy, or Philip Rowe can absolutely sub this guy. I have a bet on sub. It's on my Bet MMA tips. I have a bet on sub, but I also have a bet on Nico Price round 3 because I believe that he has the much better cardio here, and I believe with someone like Nico Price's cardio and aggression, if he brings that in round 3 when Philip Rowe is tired, I think he can get him out of there. The other aspect of this is very, very important aspect is Philip Rowe cannot check a leg kick for his life. Okay. He eats a lot of leg kicks and he got hurt very bad. Which fight was it where he was limping all over the place?
Can't remember.
I think it was, he got knocked down by a leg kick. I think it was Gabe Green. It was. He went down with a leg kick. And just look at the stats on Nico Price and how many fucking leg kicks this guy throws per fight. He throws a lot, man. And they're hard. And I think that's very, very key in this fight because if he lands a couple of those calf kicks on those twig legs of Phil Rowe are going to absolutely get chopped off. And what happens then as the fight progresses, it's just going to get worse and worse. And I think his movement's going to be a thing. And I just think Nico can finish this fight later. The only problem is, like, I would bet Nico if he had any process. This guy has no process. Go in there, make it chaos. I don't even know if he knows what he's doing, but he just goes with the flow. And, a lot of these fights, he makes them close. And, and the wins for fucking Phil Rowe are just disgusting, Orion Koski, Jason Witt, like, even in those fights, did he look good, Tim?
No, he got wrestled and held down.
Ragdolled in one, got hurt in the Koski fight. It's like, I don't know, man. But I can't put my money on Nico Price. The guy is just, it's not someone I want to lay juice with, but I think round 3 is good for him here. Maybe I'm wrong, but submission prop on Phil Rowe is good as well. Moving on. Fight number 9. It is the 185-pound division. It's the 14-7 Eric, the ya boy Anders versus the 11-3 Kyle, the Darce Knight Daucus, and I can kick this one off. Fully transparent. I like Anders in this spot. I don't understand why this line is this big, and it's been moving bigger and bigger. He's up to, let's see here. He's up to a buck 91 here. 95, sorry, on DraftKings. And Daucus is at minus 230. Strength advantage, Anders. Cardio, I think it's very close now because Anders at fight ready, I love. He's got the strength advantage. I think he has the better wrestling here. He can take this guy down. He doesn't have the better jiu-jitsu, but striking, like, he's got more power. He's the more dangerous guy on the feet if you tell me someone's going to knock the other one out. And Daucus is, like, just coming off a knockout. I think he had some kind of surgery on his face, if I'm not mistaken.
Orbital bone.
Yeah, it's like, I don't understand this line. I like Anders, but Anders by decision is plus 350. What I will say, and this is very important, Daucus has a very, very nasty Darce. That's why his nickname is the Darce Knight, right? That's how he got his nickname. He Darces almost everybody because he's got long arms. And Anders makes mistakes sometimes when he's going for takedowns. He sticks his head inside instead of keeping it on the outside. So if you stick your head inside, it's very possible you can get Darced by a guy that's very good at it, right? So that's my other play. Like I even played it, actual tracked play on him by submission. And I wish if there's a Darce somewhere out there, I would play it. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing more to say. It's a plus 290, I believe. But I like Anders in general here. I think Anders stays safe. He's at fight ready. They're probably telling him head on the outside, not on the inside. So they know all that. So I love that camp. I like Anders in this spot a good bit. Tim, what do you got?
Yeah, I completely agree with pretty much everything you said. I see this fight going a couple different ways. I think that the sub for Daucus is a great play because, like you said, if the fight does hit the ground, even if he gets taken down, he can sweep and he can reverse and then sub him. There were some mistakes made when Anders fought against Muniz. I know Muniz is a fucking beast, but he did make mistakes. Dar's not. And I think, like you said, I think that if this fight is no takedowns and it's standing for 15 minutes, the line is not right, and then a lot of the advantages, like you're saying, are on the Anders side. So money line wise, it's just a complete dog or pass. But just from like what do I actually think is the likeliness of certain outcomes happening, I think the split ends been split here is definitely live at plus 450. If you want to take a shot at Anders, it's 11-1, and Kyle is 7-1. But yeah, the ends and split 450, and then like a sub shot on Daucus at any time. Like you said, I think these guys that make these mistakes when they put their head in the wrong spot, like Clay Guida did, I think it's really hard for them to not do that when they get in the heat of the moment and they just rush and then they do the same fucking thing. Just being a coach, it kind of is my mindset. So yeah, I think the sub for Daucus is a good call, and I think the split ends and split at plus 450 are good shots.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I could see that too. I mean, Anders has, I believe, 4 splits.
He just does fuck all. Like he's good, but he just doesn't do anything.
No more. Hey, watch yourself. He's at fight ready. And last fight, he didn't do fuck all, to be honest. Like 24 takedown attempts is fucking incredible, because if you told me that old fucking Anders attempted 24 takedowns, I would tell you he's probably dead laying on the mat and can't move. But dude, the guy kept coming. Don't
you think that if he's like, let's just pretend like Anders for a second is not Anders that we've seen, and that he comes out like rabies mode and throws twice as many strikes. Do you think he could get Daucus out of there? Because Daucus has been fucking rocked in every fight in the last 4 fights.
I mean,
every single fight he's getting fucking.
Let me check.
Drilled.
I just off memory.
He's coming off orbital surgery.
Well, just off memory,
He's been dropped 3 times in his last 4 fights for sure.
No, but I think Anders has dropped a lot of people. I just
think that the KO. Yeah, if what you're saying is like, I don't disagree. I just think that we haven't seen it, and typically he does fuck all, and then
he has 6 knockdowns in the UFC.
Dude, he could knock him out too. Like he could absolutely.
He's got power.
Absolutely, like with the situation with what Kyle's coming back from, and how that was a brutal knockout from Delizae. And he fucking broke his face. So like, if he comes out like really aggressive and tries to like Chandler versus Hooker him and just says, "All right, I'm going at you early," and seeing how you react, that's definitely live outcome too. But I definitely.
Yeah, I just don't like fight ready. I think they're not like, they're smart, like game planning. They know he gasses, like, right?
Yeah, it's more the Daucus comeback, and like if he changes his style. I don't think it's the likely outcome. I definitely would still stick with split because he doesn't do very much typically. But I'm just saying, I just hypothetically throwing it out there. Like, what do you think are the percentages there?
It's possible. I don't know what game plan they have for him. Maybe they're like, yeah, go rabies at this guy. This guy is probably going to be hesitant. You might be able to knock him out when he's cold, I don't know. It's possible. But yeah, I mean, I'm on the Anders side in general. I think this line's crazy. Fight number 10, middleweight division. It is the 23-7 Jack, the Joker, Hermanson, going up against the 11-1 Roman. I don't know why his nickname is the Caucasian Delizae, but okay. The Caucasian Delizae. Tim, what do you got?
All right, so Jack Hermanson has been a cash cow for me, and Roman Delizae has taken money from me. So these are two different fighters that I have really good reads on one and really bad reads on the other. I don't know. Delizae just is a total gas bag, and he's coming in on 2 weeks' notice against a guy that he has he's got like sub 40% takedown defense against a guy that legit everybody's forgotten how fucking big a killer this dude is if he gets guys down. And Jack Hermanson, if he gets he's one of the best fighters in the UFC. If he gets you on the ground, he has top position. He will just ground and pound and submission and just absolute damage and what he can do in a short period of time. He's one of the best in the UFC, in my opinion. So I think he fucks up Delizae, and I think it happens like second or third round. I think he probably stays a little bit safe in the first round and just tries to maybe clinch him and tries to stay at range and use the big cage and just kind of like he did against Chris Curtis and just feel him out a little bit. And if he gets the clinch going, or if he has a chance to get him down in the first round, and he does, he'll just fuck him up and then basically just do a lot of damage. And I think that round 2, round 3, I just like those props, and I think I've got a bet on inside the distance for Jack as well. I just really do feel like if he gets him down at all on the ground, that he's going to finish him eventually.
All right. Tim is on Jack Hermanson, and I mean, I'm on the same, man. I have a big bet on Jack, minus 166. What a step down for him. I said it all week. I said it on Spaces. I don't understand the round 3 KO prop for Hermanson, plus 3,300 at one point on BetOnline. I hammered it. I put a big bet on it, believe it or not, round 3 prop. But plus 3,300 for Hermanson, who's got way better cardio. The guy coming on short notice. And I'm pretty sure if he gets him down in a third, he's absolutely going to ragdoll this guy and smash him. It could happen round 2. Maybe when Delizae's fresh in round 1, it doesn't happen. But round 2, round 3, it absolutely can happen. I'm just going to go with round 3 KO and get crazy. It's 30. I think it's still 33-1 on, if I'm not mistaken. Can you check?
FanDuel's 29-1.
How about BetOnline? That's where I think it was 33-1, unless it moved. I don't know. But at the end of the day, Jack Hermanson smashes here. I think it's a smash spot. The wins for Delizae of late are not replicable. He gets taken down and then, he gets this leg lock, and this fucking guy doesn't know which way to turn, how to defend a leg lock, and get his knee fucking torn off.
If he goes for a leg lock, he's gonna get fucking smashed.
Smashed.
Or he'll get what's his face will heel hook him. He loves that fucking
Hermanson.
He's way more dangerous down there. He's way more dangerous.
Hermanson's a good fucking grappler, but his ground and pound is so nasty, man. He's gonna. I mean, maybe I'm fucking totally underestimating this guy, and he's been punishing me. Honestly, Delizae. I've lost the last 2 fights, fading this fucker. But Phil Hawes was fucking weird. Daucus, he caught him and then just knocked him out. Is that replicable every fucking fight now against a high level fighter? I don't think so, man. This line should be minus. This is my opinion. This line should be minus 270. Jack Hermanson. That's my line on here. So
yeah, Daz said this in the chat. He said Roman TKO plus 1,000 that's a very good bet. I mean, that's a very good bet. I mean, he's obviously that's what his path is.
It's a good bet, but when you watch these other fights, though, Tim, outside of these last 2, right? Now hold on. The last one, are you considering it a KO?
No, it should have been. He broke his knee on the sub.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. So that's not really a KO. He's not doing that to Jack Hermanson.
No.
Okay.
Completely. I also think I just think like my point is like round one. Like if you're saying round one, Delizae, it's like of course, yeah. Like he's like that's he's usually early. He's not finishing dudes.
I just think his striking sucks, dude. That's my thing. Like his striking sucks. It's not good.
Yeah, he's caught. He's just caught guys. He's caught guys.
Yeah, he's caught one guy, Daucus. That's it. It's it. Ibrahimov, that I don't consider that anything. But when he fought John Allen, he fought Giles, he fights Staropoli, he didn't get shit, you know. He caught a cold. And he caught losses there against Giles. So
hopefully he's not catching anything from Cheyenne.
Oh boy. I don't know. Is he still with her? I haven't seen anything on Instagram with them.
Not sure.
It's possible. Let's see here. Roman's chest hair is too attractive. Well, then you have to bet on Roman if you see that. Fight doesn't go to decision, only 110. Yeah, but I could see that. That's not a bad bet. That's a good bet. Jenna Marie says, Daz Files, what's up, my guys? Daz is always in here. Yeah. Can't really ever count KO. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that wasn't a chin. No, but that wasn't even a chin thing, though, man. Like, he had his knee torn off. He couldn't move. Guy was done. Fresh, what's up? Fresh Gambles is in the house. Hermanson looked like shit on scales. Did he? I didn't see that. I don't know. I don't take too much into account there, to be honest. Vittori nearly knocking out Jack is concerning. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, anybody can get knocked out in the UFC. I don't want to say Delizae can't knock him out. Of course he can. But thank you, Jenna Marie. Thank you for being in here. I appreciate it. We have another guy that says, Nazgal says, I've got Delizae KO1. All right, maybe. I'm all over Jack. I'm not hedging.
I think that is his path in this fight. I think that's like he is KO1 or bust in this fight. I would be in agreement with you. I don't think it's going to happen.
All right. Shall we move on? Fight number 11 in the heavyweight division. It is the 15-4 tie. Bam, bam. Tuivasa versus the 16-1 Sergey, no nickname, Pavlovich. And I will kick this one off. I went with kind of a weird one because the other one were not Lambo plays. So I went with Tai Tuivasa, round 2, plus 1,000. Round 2 is just plus 1,000. Don't pay KO because KO is plus 1,000 as well. So they're tricking you there. Just play round 2. You never know what happens. It's MMA. Round 2 plus 1,000. Pavlovich, as we've seen, this guy is like round one, decision, round one. So it's like round ones all over the place. The way he fights, he's gonna gas. I'm almost certain. If he goes to the second and third, this guy's gonna gas bad. And we've seen Tuivasa go, he went into the third round in absolute shellacking against Cyril Gane. Actually hurt Gane, dropped Gane in that fight. And then he's been to the decision a couple of times. Ivanov, Arlovsky. I think he's got the better cardio. I think he's got the better chin, better durability here. One thing that was brought up, and I kind of looked at it in spaces earlier yesterday, I think, or 2 days ago, was the fact that, Tuivasa kind of looked weird when he was signing autographs and stuff at the thing, and kind of looked like he was still punchy or still knocked out or still having, effects from the concussion that he ate against Gane. It's possible. I don't want to go with that narrative because I just think this line is off in general. Like if you tell me these guys are just going to swing it out, and they're both normal, they're swinging it out. One guy I know has proven durability. He's tough, is Tuivasa. The other guy got knocked out by a hammer fist on the ground by Overeem. I'm going to have to go with the more durable guy because both guys have knockout power, but one guy is a lot more durable than the other guy, and one guy has faced a much better opposition than the other guy. So for me, I'm going to go with round 2 KO, or I'm sorry, just round 2 on Tuivasa plus 1,000. I wouldn't be shocked if he just gets lit up in the first round because he might not be fully recovered 3 months later. But I like Tuivasa here. That's what I like. Tim, you like anything different here? Pavlovich?
I mean, here's the thing. It's just one of those things where you're just like, why in this fight is he lined like worse than Derek Lewis. You know, it's just like stupid. Like what have we seen from Pavlovich? Like what do you have questions answered from watching Sergey like at all? Like when was the last time he fought in round 2? It was like over 5 years ago. Like there's so many like question marks that you have on the guy. I'm not saying that he can't fuck tie up. I'm not saying he's not a way bigger dude and he's on every single sauce that he could be on. And he's a freak of nature physically, and he's got every measurable advantage. But it's like you're saying, it's like Ty, what does he do when he kick? What is he going to do when Ty just chops at his leg the first time, a few times, and just like kicks the shit out of his leg? And he like, what is he going to do? I have a bunch of questions about it. So there's no way in hell I'm laying juice on him at this point. His KO 1, like you said, is like plus 100. So we are on Lambo plays. We're not doing that shit to you. So yeah, man, I'm with you. I think the Ty round 2, Ty round 3 are really good looks. Plus 1,000, plus 2,300. Like, he's shown that he can go the distance. He's shown that he has heart, and then he can take a shot from like guys like Greg Hardy, who I know are shit, but they do throw hard. And he just keeps coming back and then fucks him up in like 30 seconds after that. So yeah, he's shown to be durable. He's shown to have heart. I do agree with you that coming back this soon is a little bit of a big red flag on that, but this is a clear dogger pass. And if you're betting, if you're laying the juice on Sergey here, you need to look at your process a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna bet Pavlovich, just bet him KO. There's absolutely zero reason to bet his money line here. This fight's not going to decision. I'm gonna go on record as saying that this fight is not going to decision. One of these guys is gonna get knocked out, in my opinion. And please, Antonio, do not waste your money on that prop right there. Do not waste a single dollar on that prop. That's never happening, dude. Like, this guy doesn't know what a takedown is, let alone a submission. Do not.
Yeah, if he has a chance to put his arms around him, he will just punch.
Yeah. It's honestly, you're burning money. Don't.
One hand punches, the other hand gets the shoe.
Don't do it. Gerardo says Pavlovich could late second round KO.
He's 8-1. He's 8-1 on KO too. So that's
interesting.
His late round props are good if you're on his side and you want to take a little stab at maybe it does go past the first round and you're banking on what Narco and I are saying on Ty being durable, and that's another Lambo play too. But yeah.
You know, one thing I will say is that, you know, people saying Ty coming back too soon, and I kind of mentioned that. But listen, you have to remember one thing, right? All these fighters, they have to get cleared medically. They go through concussion protocol, all this kind of shit, because he got knocked out. So he had some kind of suspension. I don't know what it was, 60 days, 30. I don't know what the suspension was. But whatever it was, after you come off suspension, or for them to, you know, like reinstate you, you have to pass the medicals. You have to pass whatever the fucking protocols are. And he had to have passed them. They're not going to let this guy fight. So I have to think everything is okay. Like you're going to have to think he's fine. And maybe I was just, you know, because I it's not like I compared him to other, you know, fights where, you know, pre-fight he was, you know, acting weird, because he might just act like that prior to fights. I don't know. He just looked kind of weird. Somebody put out like where he was signing autographs, and he did kind of look slow, but I don't know. Moving on. Fight number 12. It is in the 125-pound division. It is the 18-2-1 Matthias Nikolao versus the 16-7 Matt Danger Schnell. Your turn, Tim? Yes?
I think it is.
It is your turn.
Yeah, my turn. Yep. I really like Nikolao as a fighter. In general, I think he's super talented everywhere. Just the only thing, there's certain things like about the money line, and I'm not touching the money line. I'm not parlaying him or anything like that. I'm not saying that I think he's going to win, but I just think that it's a slightly wide line, money line wise. He fights close. He's on his back foot a lot of times. And he's not super, super high volume. That being said, those are the red flags, or those are the bad parts, but I think that he's dangerous everywhere. I think that he's got power. I think that he's a solid wrestler, and he's got very good jiu-jitsu. So I think he could finish Schnell anywhere in the fight. And I think the fight is going to be determined on how Schnell fights and how he wants to go about it, because you get a different version of Schnell. Sometimes you get I don't want to get knocked out. I'm going to stay at range. I'm going to kind of point fight. And then you get what he did with Sumadarji last fight, one of the best fights I've ever seen. And he makes that comeback. So it's like he gets rocked in every fight. And I like the Nikolao KO at plus 340. I think he's going to finish him. Is it possible he subs him? Yes, definitely. Could he club him, sub him? For sure. But I think he's going to rock him kind of like suited. And then just instead of watching him, I think he's going to go and finish him.
All right. Very possible. He's a talented guy. Headley says something. I just want to Minner pass and TJ pass the medicals. Yeah, but I'm not talking about the medicals like before the fight. This guy was suspended. When you get knocked out in the UFC, they suspend you automatically. There's like whatever. You can't come back to fight within, let's say, 30 days or 60 days. I'm talking about those medicals after the actual suspension period. You have to go probably see a neurologist, a stuff like that, where they check your brain. They make sure that you're good to go to fight again. That's the medicals I'm talking about. I'm not talking about, because Minner probably hurt his knee within that week training, and then leading up to the fight, like when he came in fight day and they check him, yeah, everything is good. It's not like they make him jump up and down and shit. Like, this is more of a brain thing. So I think it's a completely different medical that you're talking about compared to this medical, like after a suspension. So just wanted to say that. I think that's a different one that you're looking. You're looking at the pre-fight medical compared to the post, like, knockout medicals after your suspension. It's a little different. Shoe is locked and loaded, says Daz. The shoey bet. Let's see what Gerardo says. So it looks like I'll take Pavlovich around 1 or 2 plus 150 and some Pavlovich round 2 plus 500. Yeah, I mean, if you think Pavlovich wins, yeah, go for it. I don't like his money line. I wouldn't play his money line. But yeah, for me here, it's a little bit of a shocker, man. I know people are not going to expect this, but I'm going with Matt Schnell by KO. Don't tell anybody. Did you guys hear me? But KO for Matt Schnell is plus 1,400. Now, I know he doesn't have a lot of knockouts in his career. I know that, Matt Schnell is mostly, submission or bust and stuff like that. But he has a lot of power in his hands, man. He's going to be the rangier fighter here. He's got good boxing. I mean, the guy has good boxing. Whether you think he sucks or whatever, he gives up. And I agree with some of those things. But he's got good boxing. He's got good power. You see him rock and hurt Madarji. You see him drop Royval. You see him hurt. Who was that before that he hurt? Was it Bontarin? Like, he hurts a lot of people in fights. He's got pretty decent power for 125. And he doesn't finish a lot of fights, doesn't get a lot of knockouts, but again, he has a lot of power in his hands, and he's going to be the taller guy. And Nikolao, the one thing that I dislike about Nikolao is he circles the cage a lot. He's waiting for his opportunity to land. He's looking for his left hook, which is a very, very good punch that he has. And he could possibly put out Schnell with that left hook. But Nikolao's been knocked out twice, okay? He's been hurt in other fights. 1,400 to me is like weird. I don't understand why it's such a big line. I'm going to take a shot with Schnell by KO at 1,400. I don't think he could sub Nikolao, honestly. Even with how dangerous he is off his back, I don't think he can sub Nikolao. Nikolao's very, very good on the ground. But I do think he can knock him out. And it's 1,400. And I did take a stab at plus 300 on Schnell for half a unit because, listen, I'm an idiot for betting it because I hate Schnell, to be honest. Like, he gives up and he does all these things. But Nikolao is a guy that fights very close, guys. He circles the cage, low volume, gives up the first round a lot, doing fuck all for the whole round, circling the cage. Why is it minus 365? Why is it this guy doesn't cover these prices, guys? He goes to decision a lot. He doesn't cover these type of price tags. So I don't know. I'm on Schnell here. I'm on Schnell KO. Just a small poke, nothing big. I think there's some value here, honestly. I think Schnell has skills. He just fucking is no chin, for one. And he's kind of dumb, to be honest. His fight IQ is not very good. So, but I'm willing to take a shot at that big long shot price. Moving on, we are to the co-main event. It is in the 170-pound division. It is the 31-14 Rafael dos Anjos versus the 18-8 Brian Bam Bam Barberena. And I can kick this one off. I like RDA here, man. Like, this is just a very good spot for him. Good matchup for him. A guy that gets hit a ton. A guy that gets kicked a ton. A guy that can get taken down. I mean, you name it here. RDA can do whatever he wants, to be honest. Like, if he wants to stand up, I think he could piece him up in a stand-up. Leg kicks are going to be there. Body kicks are going to be there. And this guy, you got to remember, gets hurt to the body. He had surgery, that crazy surgery that, he had to do that almost cut his whole career. That was intestinal stuff. And RDA is one of the hardest kickers to the body, man. So RDA KO is plus 500. You're giving me KO for a guy that has power, has a great kicking game, has good ground and pound against a guy that's, I know he's the younger guy, but Barberena just, I don't know, man. His wins have not aged very well. Like, his losses have been atrocious. Jason Witt beating you, knocking you down. Jason Witt knocked this guy down. I don't care, man. Like, Matt Brown got a bunch of takedowns, and it was a very close fight. Lawler was landing on this guy. Give me knockout, man. This guy's been knocked out many times. So give me the KO prop on RDA at plus 500. What do you got, Tim?
Well, at first, I want to let everyone know, I have scar tissue of the Darren Elkins level on from the RDA late round props versus Moicano. So I do have a small bet on him inside the distance here, and I agree with you. Like, I think he could sub him too. So I like the round 2, round 3. Round 2 is plus 650. Round 3 is plus 1200. I think Barberena can survive a round possibly, and then if he gets him down in the second, third, he just pounds the shit out of him, or takes a neck and does whatever, like you're saying. And either one, I don't really know which way he's going to go, but I agree. I just think that he might be like older, but from the level of like the fight miles on these guys, they're pretty close. Barberena seems like he's kind of washed.
Oh my God. I didn't just see. He said, Antonio says RDA can't finish the sandwich, bro. Don't look at the record. I'll give you a hint. Do not, guys, if you want to get good at gambling in MMA, do not look at this guy's record and say, oh, look, he's got no finishes. This guy can't. But who did he fight, guys? Paul Felder, extremely durable. He absolutely killed Moicano and basically didn't want to finish him. Like, they're friends. He didn't want to finish him, right? Chiesa, Edwards, like, look at the level. Usman, Covington. Who finished? Those guys are hard to finish.
He's finished 50% of his fights.
Let me explain to Antonio one thing. He finished one of the most durable guys by a knockout, and that's Benson Henderson. In Benson Henderson's prime, this guy can knock anybody out. Are you kidding me? This guy can't finish? Oh my goodness! Don't look at the record. I'm telling you. And Barberena's been finished many times. I don't know how many times, but I'll go back and look. But he's been finished
three of 8 times.
He's been knocked out. All right, 3 of 8 times. Fair enough.
Two KO'd, 1 sub.
And don't get me wrong, he's tough. But looking at his last fights, getting dropped by Jason Witt, getting wobbled and hurt Matt Brown and all these other guys, the ghost of Matt Brown, he can get knocked out. Trust me. And RDA, I think, knocks him out. It might even be ground and pound or something, but RDA is vicious, man. You got to be kidding me. Don't ever talk about RDA like that. I'm kidding. But before moving on to the main event, I like to thank 60 of you in here. Thank you very, very much to all of you. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the dono earlier. Great, great gesture. Thank you very much, Ja. I really appreciate that. And with that being said, we will move on to the main event of the night. It is in the 170-pound division. It is Steven, the Wonder Boy Thompson, at a 16-6-1 record, going up against a 23-8 Kevin, Trailblazer Holland. Tim, 5-round fight. Talk to me.
I've got a few on this one, so I see the fight going a few different ways. I think if the fight goes, I think it's going to be a very close decision. So ends and split at plus 800 is a solid look if the fight does go. I do also think that Kevin Holland is so long and so quick that he could. It's not hard, or it's not going to be easy to necessarily connect on Stephen Thompson, but I just do feel like eventually he is going to, and I just keep feeling like a club and sub situation happening potentially later as the fight goes. So Holland sub on a club and sub, or just round 3, 4, 5, like later, 11-1, 18-1, 24-1. The split decision, I do feel like if the fight goes, I do feel like there's a good shot that Holland is probably landing the bigger shots, and Wonder Boy is probably landing a good amount more. It could be close. So don't hate anybody taking a shot on Wonder Boy. If you're on Wonder Boy, I think the better way to go is to go by points and or split for him. I don't think that he's knocking out Holland. Holland has been fucking just super durable over his career, and there's no sub option, I don't think, for Wonder Boy. So yeah, I know it's a few different darts there, but I'm not super clear on this fight. I do think that I'm leaning Holland is the side. Holland is my pick. But nothing, no super confident. Just club and sub, possibly later, or if the fight goes, it's super close.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the Holland side, but I was on the Holland side at minus 116. I'm not on the Holland side at minus 188, 180. I'm sorry, I think this is going to be a 25-minute striking match. I don't think Holland's going for takedowns. People seem to think Holland might get takedowns. Holland doesn't fucking wrestle, man. He does not wrestle. Let me just look at the stats, because I don't know. This guy doesn't wrestle, man. Let's see here. One takedown against Brunson, and that was because he told everybody, I'm going to be the first to take him down. He had 2 against Charlie Ontiveros, which is, come on. I mean, yeah, this guy just does not wrestle. That's the thing. If you're going to expect them to wrestle, it's not happening. And then the other thing is Wonderboy Thompson has great takedown defense. Do not see what a great wrestler Belil did to him. This guy has very, very good takedown defense. A guy that has no wrestling like Holland is not taking Wonderboy Thompson down. So with that being said, it's going to be a striking match. Holland has the power. Holland can knock him out here. But I think in a big cage where he can use his kicks a lot, stuff like that, he can, stay away from the long reach of Holland, and he could probably stay away from the big shots. I also do think his durability might be kind of shaky at this point, but I don't want to say he's toast. I think he could take punches. It's not like he's completely toast. I just feel like this fight goes to decision, man. I like split 800. Split decision on this fight is 800. Either way, I really like that line. You can play both guys by decision. I like that look. I just like this fight in general to go to decision. If you got on the early line on Holland, I like it, because I think he has more of the finishing upside here, a lot more. And then he can also win a decision, in my opinion, because he can have, the big moments will probably be his. So with that being said, I mean, fight goes to decision, overs, any one of these guys by decision, split. I like all those things on this fight. It's just one of those fights that I think goes to decision. And ultimately, I think Holland probably is going to prevail, because the big moments, like I said, because, kicking, yeah, he does a very good kicking game, but is he going to want to sit there and exchange boxing with Holland with his long?
8-1 is just wild number in this fucking fight.
Because, you know
it's
why,
a
Tim?
wild number.
You know why? All the decision props are wild.
Right.
Looking at Wonder Boy's decision props.
4-1 and 4-1. 4-1 and 4-1.
Why is this KO less than his decision?
That's what I'm saying. If you're looking at it, and you're just saying okay, are both guys durable? Hell yeah. Are both do they both have good striking? Yeah, for sure. And is Holland like dangerous striking? For sure. But you have to like bank on him connecting over and over and over in this fight against Wonder Boy. And Wonder Boy has just shown that he's just not easy to do that against. So, and then just the other side, if it's Wonder Boy having the success, Holland has shown that he can take a fucking shovel to the head and still stand. So yeah, it's just weird. The only thing that knocked out Holland was the Daucus headbutt before he subbed him, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, he's durable as shit, man. Like he can take a punch. He's tough. He's not like outside of a head kick knockout, it's not happening. I think a head kick is maybe live because Thompson's, I mean, he's very good kicking game, but outside of that, he's just not. And it's going to be hard to get a head kick because fucking Holland's so tall for this division. You know, it's not going to be easy. You got to get it up there. But yeah, that's it, guys. 14 fights, went through all 14 of them. 60 of you still in here. Thank you very, very much. We will now move on to our Lambo parlays. We're going to give you a yes, Mushroom. Stop it. I already know. I got there before you even mentioned. Tim, do you have anything?
I do. I've got a little bit longer one this time, but it's all just inside the distance. All of these fighters, I think, get finishes. So we're going to go JSP, Nikolao, Jack Hermanson, Scott Holtzman, and Natan Levy. And then all five is 70-1. And if you took off Levy, it is 36-1. So not bad.
I'm trying to do the math on mine right now, but okay. So for me, I'm going with Anders decision. Then I'm going with the Joker ITD. Then I'm going with, hold on, I gotta look it up one by one. Sorry, because this is done on the fly. The other one like is Jonathan Pierce ITD. He's minus 115. Sorry, let me get all of this in. And then the last leg is Natan Levy ITD. What is that, Tim? Can you give me that one real quick?
It's like minus 120.
Is Natan Levy minus 120?
Yeah.
All right. So that's my 4-piece. It will give you 58-1 right there on that 4-piece. It is, again, Anders decision, inside the distance for Hermanson, inside the distance for Pierce, and inside the distance for Natan Levy, 58-1. I like that one pretty good. Like I think those are really, really good possibilities. Maybe Anders, the only one scares me because I think he can knock him out too. But Anders decision plus 350 is fine. Squad shit. Can we all just admire the fact that Holland was thrown into UFC to be a stepping stone his first fight versus Thiago on short notice and then hazmat overnight? Guy to get the fight. He has been. It's not what it is. He just takes every fight, dude. Like this guy, short notice, you name it, he takes every fight. I don't think they're throwing him to the wolves. And I'll explain to you something. That's why the UFC loves this guy. Actually, you know who talked about him, Tim, on Spaces? Charles Johnson. Remember when he was on my Spaces, he specifically mentioned Kevin Holland. He said, when I went to the PI out there, and I was in there and everybody, and Holland was there, I guess. He said, everybody loves Holland out there. Everybody from the makeup artist to this, to that, everybody in the UFC just loves him because he's a company guy. Like you want him to fight, he's there to fight. Doesn't care who it is. Sign the contract. They like that shit. And the other part is like, he's exciting. He talks shit. You know, he brings attention. He's got a lot of followers. UFC like that shit. So I don't think they're throwing him to the wolves. I think the UFC actually liked this guy. You know, that fight against Khamzat wasn't really made. Remember that. That was on the fly.
Yeah. Khamzat came in like 10 pounds overweight.
Yeah, 10 pounds overweight. He just took the fight. That's what I mean by they love him. How many people take that fight? Right? So, anyways, you know, to take a fight on the day before against a guy like Khamzat, who's everybody's scared of, like, you have to have fucking balls, man. And Kevin Holland is that guy. I love that about him. Did the cross station win benefit you guys? Did you guys make money on a fight? I did. I didn't have I didn't know. It's not like Kraus told me, but some people seen
hindsight. I didn't make the right bet, but I'd made a big bet on the under 2.5.
Yeah, the under 2.5 is where we made most of our money there.
Yeah,
I had a play on it. To be honest, I had a play on it already.
Hindsight round 1 is the way to go.
How do you not play under 2.5 in a Minner fight though? Right? I know Shylon hasn't had a lot of knockouts, but Minner is just that guy. Anyways, regardless. Anyway, he's cut now. He's gone. Kraus can no longer. Kraus is done. There's no way UFC is going to let this guy see.
The only way that Kraus isn't going to jail is if he sells out guys that are bigger in this ring.
I don't think he's going to go to jail because they need hard evidence, man. If they don't have,
they have a lot of evidence so far.
How do you know?
Because he got the Discord.
But the Discord is like everybody has that, but it's not like in the Discord he's saying, "Oh yeah, Minner's hurt." We're betting on.
No, he did. He said multiple times. He had people. There was a George narrative. George Gennaro he posted it one today that he said one guy's thanking him for the round 1 prop, and then he gave a wink, a smile, and then a emoji back to him. So there's whether or not.
Are you serious on that fight though?
Yeah, specific. Yeah, it's that's why I'm saying they're starting to find.
Was that a DM or in the public?
No, that's the Discords that you and I are in all the time. I
can't believe he's that stupid.
That's what I'm saying. He's that fucking stupid.
Yeah, but you know what, Tim? I would like to see that. That could be another fight. That could be people just took it.
It's just specific to the thread was on Minner, and then the next few down was. He was so mad because he just needed the money before the fight was one. And then the other one was, that was George is saying that was satire on the second one.
Of course. That's what I thought. Come on. That would be crazy because everything I've seen on Discord, there's nothing in there that he said, hey, this guy's hurt. Let's go bet the other guy. There's nothing out there like that. There really isn't. The only thing I'll say is I think the way he gets caught, because here's the thing. I don't think he bet. He didn't personally go to the cage or go on his DraftKings account and make a bet. He did not do that. I'm pretty sure. He can't. I could see being dumb. That's being idiocy, right? He didn't do that, right? Now, if somebody out there dimes him out, they put pressure on somebody or something, and he says, oh, yeah, you know what? This is what happened. He met me here. He gave me cash or whatever the heck it is. I'm pretty sure it might not be electronic. Maybe it is. I don't know. But if somebody dimes him out, that's how he gets caught. But everything is probably gone. I don't think he exchanged text messages saying, hey, go bet this guy. Maybe he did. If he did, those are retrievable. It doesn't matter if he erases them. I've done it in my career. All you do is get a warrant from a judge. You give it over to the it's just like a subpoena, basically. You give it over to the phone company, and they have to send you the records, right, of that phone number. So they send you all the text messages of who he texts, what the messages were. You could see all that shit. So if that's the case and he exchanged text messages, then he's screwed. He's screwed. It's gonna come out. Now, I don't know, because you got to remember, the people investigating this are not law enforcement at this point. They are gaming command. I don't know if those guys have the power to get subpoenas. I don't know if those guys have any of that. Man, George, you didn't have to, my friend. Thank you very, very much. Oh, you didn't have to do that, man.
I was sporting Narrative Nation on that one.
I really appreciate that. Thank you. But you know what I'm saying? I don't know if those guys have the power to get a warrant, right?
No, I think that they do, because in tennis there's such a huge there's so much of this going on in lower level tennis tournaments. There's so much match fixing and shit like this that they are they're so good at it that they they understand like how to connect the dots between the people who would actually like the spider web effect of like.
No,
okay.
I know that. What I'm referring to is in law enforcement, right? In order to get warrants, I'm pretty sure you have to have you have to be in law enforcement. You can't be like some Joe Schmo from a gaming commission say, hey, judge, here's the thing, I'll write it up. No, you have to be in law enforcement. So they have to get authorities involved to get these phone records. That's what I'm saying, to get the warrant. They can't do it through just like the gaming board, right? They can't do it like that. So they have to, it has to be some kind of criminal activity for them. So they have to prove, first of all, they have to,
maybe not a criminal activity. Maybe there just has to be some kind of lawsuit. There just has to be some type of.
No. It has to be like, for you to subpoena like phone records, there has to be a criminal and like some kind of criminal aspect. Like subpoena his record for what though? What do you? So when you go in front of a judge, you have to have like almost like not. I don't want to say probable cause because that's for arrest, but you have to have like pretty much proof that this guy is, rigging this fight somehow to bet and make money on, which is a crime, right? It's some kind of forgery, some kind of crime. I don't know what it
fraud.
is.
Yeah, it's fraud.
Fraud. It's some kind of fraud. Yeah. So fight fixing. I don't know what the charge is, but it is a crime. So if they can prove that, then a judge will say, yeah, for sure. Here's the phone. Here's the warrant. Go get the phone records. And if it's there, it's there. If it's not, they're not going to, you can't do shit. If they don't have hard proof, they can't do anything unless someone dimes them out again. If someone dimes them out, and again, that's not enough. Like, let's just say another guy says, oh, yeah, I bet. He told me to bet 50,000 on this guy. Okay, but Cross is going to deny it. That guy better have like text message or some kind of track of him giving him money. You know what I'm saying?
The YouTube, he had a YouTube channel that he did as well that they can look at as well on that. There's just a lot of shit where you just I mean, yeah. I don't.
House bet 100%. Did you not watch? I didn't watch YouTube. I didn't watch any of it. I'm pretty sure he bet. Like, I'm not. I even put it on Twitter. Like, I'm almost sure he bet. Not him personally, but someone within that spider web that Tim is talking about. Someone bet. I don't know if it was his mother, his brother, his sister. I don't know. Somebody bet.
I think, like I said too, like the way these go usually is if there's people that are above him that are spending bigger bucks and looking to use his information and his leverage and his that's pretty much, they're going to go after those guys, right? If there's bigger people bigger fish to fry, then his only way out of this is to just basically sell those guys out and rat them out. And,
George makes a good point. Like he says, Cross put his own interests ahead of his fights. You know what? Like, Minner's an idiot, first of all. Like, he's a fucking idiot for doing what he did. But I could see where a fighter does not want to pull out because he needs the money. Like, dude, a lot of these guys are pretty much broke. Like, these lower level guys, like, they don't really have a lot of money and they need the check. Like, they can't pull out. So I could see where they're, but I'm pretty sure Cross, like, yeah, fucking go fight. Like, he's pushing him to fight. And obviously, just probably like, yeah, dude, just throw a kick and fucking go down or whatever he told him, right? But it's so stupid, dude. Like, if I was, I would never do something like this. But if I was in this corner, I'm fucking Kraus, right? Why would I tell this guy to throw a kick at his injured leg? Get taken down, motherfucker. Get taken down. Give up your neck. Get choked out. No one would ever know. No one would ever say anything. He got choked out, right? There's 100%. No injury, nothing.
100%.
It's crazy to think that this guy made him throw leg kicks.
You just can't make it that stupidly obvious. At least TJ was the same thing. I mean, the betting lines didn't move at all, but clearly he was hurt before. But like, at least he fought and he tried to he just got his ass kicked for 5 minutes. But it was just, yeah, I 100%.
Minner's gone to witness protection. The YouTube channel is deleted. Yeah, I've never watched it, honestly. I don't know. It's wild because in UFC, anything can happen, even with injury. Like, listen, I'm going to say this. I'm telling you right now, a lot of fighters that go into fights with injuries that we don't know about. I promise you that. And they've went on to win. And we've heard it before. How many times have you heard a guy say after a fight, say, I came into this fight injured. He didn't specifically say what. I was injured, but I toughed it out. I came in and I did what I have to do to win. I've heard it a million times. So it happens. Don't think that doesn't happen, that fighters go into fights with injuries. But like this type of injury, it looked pretty. He probably had a torn like ACL or something. I don't know what injury he had, but he went on Ariel Helwani. He said he personally bets and fight he coaches. Yeah, I saw. I mean, the People's Account takeover. I guess that's like a. I haven't never done it, but I guess that's a normal thing when you're like a good, like you can have people open accounts and then you give them a percentage. I don't know. That I knew about. Narcocop with better than us across kind of the MMA media. Yeah, I mean, we're just bullshitting at this point. You have to go, Tim?
No. No.
UFC pays the medicals. He can claim the leg injury happened during the fight. Yeah. I'm not so much talking about medical bills. I'm talking about like actually getting the check, like the show money and the fight money. He needs probably that money.
Yeah, for like what you're saying is exactly right. Like if he doesn't fight, the alternative is that he doesn't get the money for fighting and he pays for the surgery himself.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's
kind of screwed.
It's a fucking no-brainer for him.
And for him, it's like, fuck it, I'm gonna go. On his old channel, he had a guest every week who would bet millions on each card. They would discuss. Yeah, that's the guy he did the Discord with. I forgot his damn name, but yeah, that's the guy he did.
I think that like what Prince of Mischiefs, I think the point that I would make off of that is more like that's the problem with the UFC is that it's not like they have this blanket insurance for all of their fighters that you're like, if you are injured, let's get you taken care of and let's actually worry about this. And it is your only value is if you're fighting and you're in the ring. And if you can't do that, we're going to fucking sell you. And it's that cutthroat. So I just think that it's if they had like an insurance that was not based on if you're just doing this in the ring and we actually see this in the ring, this injury happen, and we can justify paying your medical bills for that. But if you're fighting and you're training on your own and you fuck yourself up, well, that's on you. It's like, dude, that's just, I mean, that it's like tennis. It's honestly, it's so similar to tennis where you're like, if you get injured, you're fucked and you lose your ranking. There's no chance. And I just think the UFC's policy on that is kind of warped.
I agree with you. I think once you sign the contract on the dotted line, once you sign that contract, your medical should be immediately covered 100%. From that point 100%. up until the fight. Now, after the fight, let's say you're good, you're cleared, no injuries, there shouldn't be any, like if you're gonna fucking go and play basketball and blow your knee, like that's not UFC's problem, to be honest. But if you're in the fight camp, once you sign that contract, you should be covered 100%. Like you're getting injured in these fight camps, everything should be covered. Like, why isn't it? I'm fucking basically working at that point for that fight. So I'm working for you to get to that, to show up to that fight on weight.
I almost think it's like even I would take it even a step further. Honestly, I think it should be even times when they're not training and like if they're on contract for 4 fights, then they know that they're insured for those 4 fights. And it's just like, because the insurance are going to worry about, they're going to do their due diligence and see if the person's like, where did this injury happen? Did this thing happen at the Y while they're on the basketball court? It's not that like,
yeah, but you get covered, Tim, even if it happened at the Y, if you have like, I don't know if there's an insurance, like if you can get insurance, let's say UFC covers you for 4 years, right? Your contract is for 4 fights or what, 2 years or whatever. And I don't think you can like make the insurance where you're only covered during your training camps or something.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And you can't blow your knee. Like if you're, let's say playing basketball, now you blew your knee and your insurance doesn't cover you. I don't think that can happen. Like once they cover you with the insurance completely, they have to cover you. Like even if you blow your knee, even if you have surgery for your appendix or whatever the fuck it is, they have to cover you. And if that's the case, then yeah, I agree with that too. Like as long as you're signed by the UFC, I mean, I don't mind that. They should actually cover these guys, dude. Insurance is a big thing. Like these guys get sick, these guys get hurt like every other human, and they're working.
It's just a business. Yeah, it's just a business just like any other.
The problem is they're contracted fight. It's like a contracted person. Usually these companies, any company, when you're contracted, they usually don't give you the benefits like a regular employee. So that's what sucks. Cross was crazy good at betting on MMA. He was 15-2 in the last fight night. I don't know if he was crazy good, man. He had a lot of losing nights that you don't know of. Gagey said during the Tony fight, he has a broken nose, but because it was broken during the UFC, during the fight, UFC won't pay for it? Wait. So he broke his nose during the fight and they wouldn't pay for it? Or you're saying he had a broken nose prior to the fight? Because that doesn't make sense. If you broke it in the fight, there's no way UFC is going to say no. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading it wrong. Also, Dana's fault for waiting so long to drop the hammer. He had to let kind of like stuff. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe you're right. They need a clean look. They need to look into Tim Elliott fight against Nikolao too. Krause telling Tim he's up 2-0 when he clearly wasn't. Yeah, but that's impossible, dude. That's impossible. That's like that's a judgmental type of thing. Like you could see a fight where it's 2-0 when it probably isn't. And I don't know. That's judgmental. I don't think that's yeah, Shea. That's his name. That's the guy that's bet millions. Correct. Thanks. It's a dirty game. I can't stop playing it. No, don't stop. We make money here. If the UFC didn't pay their fights like shit, then more fighters would need to bet on themselves. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. They need to pay it a little more. The reason why UFC doesn't cover during the fight camps is because some fighter will do dangerous stunts if they don't want fighters to take advantage. Example, scuba diving. But I mean, come on, that's like I don't agree with that. Like, okay, so I work for, let's say, I don't know, whoever, Apple. Why do they cover me outside of my work hours when I could do dangerous stunts? I mean, I don't think that doesn't make sense. That because I could easily, you know, I don't know, lose a leg or something or lose an arm. I can't work for 6 months and they're still covering me. They're still paying my insurance. They're still fucking paying me. Actually, you get paid medical leave or whatever, a lot of these companies. So it's like, I don't agree with that, Prince. One more reason fighters need a union. Yeah, I mean, they probably should get. It's going to be extremely hard, though. There should be terms saying no stupid shit, but yeah, okay, that I agree. So NFL does that.
They
right?
have, I guarantee have that.
Huh?
They already have that.
They probably have that. They probably have that. Yeah, I agree. They probably have that. All of Cross fights are now under scrutiny. Yeah, but I don't know. Moreno probably goes back to Entrim. And then I don't think Moreno, all these guys, send them to Fight Ready, baby. Fight Ready is the place. He had a broken nose prior, but it was shit surgery, and then Tony broke it some more. I get it. And they didn't cover it. That's weird. That's pretty fucked up, to be honest. Because I don't care. You could have prior broken nose. You can break your nose 100 times. The boxers break their nose every other fight. I mean, that's crazy. Do we max bet Figgy at plus 100 since now Moreno has no coach? I don't know about that. That's a close fight all the time. I don't think fucking Krause did anything for fucking Moreno's career, my friend. I think if anything, Moreno might have done more for fucking Krause than Krause did for Moreno. So, I don't know about that. I agree they should be covered. Yeah. All right, guys. 51 of you still rocking with us. Thank you very much. I got to get going. I got to eat something. It's 8:40. Tim's got to go. Thank you very much, guys. Tomorrow, live spaces for the UFC fight card. I believe it starts at 7 Eastern.
It's super late. Yeah.
7 Eastern, 14 fights. We're probably going to be on until about, I would say maybe 1, 2 o'clock my time. So probably 3 Eastern. You know what's crazy? That is in the East Coast, and they're starting at 7 Eastern. 14 fights. What time is that fight card going to end in the East Coast?
Really late. If we get
minimum 6 hours. It's 6 hours.
If we get a bunch of decisions, yeah, it's going to be pretty
6 hours, dude. Crazy. Anyways, thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate you guys. All of you. Thank you. 52 of you. Maybe we should do more of these discussion fucking people seem to love it. And I love engaging with chat. So maybe we'll do them more often. Like when shit props up, I'll hit Tim up and we'll do something. But thank you very much, guys. One last thing. Please hit the like. Please subscribe if you haven't. I know all of you have, but friends, family, anybody. Subscriptions have been going up. I love it. And yeah, guys, one last thing. Let's cash those tickets tomorrow.